Oh, the breeze!
And then he starts freaking
He's about to start tripping out. Oh, dude, that reaction was great. He's about to vomit. Oh!
he wants to get here.
He's holding in the throw up. Stop.
Hey, welcome to Twilight Noobs, everybody. I'm Jason.
I'm Eric. And this is awkward.
Yeah, we're doing a casual opening this time. Just super chill. No screaming, nothing crazy. We're just gonna... Yeah, let's just...
No bloody ears. We're not gonna pop your speakers, or we're not gonna make that crackly sound in your headphones. You're good to go.
Our eyes
You've matured.
Our
You've
eyes
matured
might be
after
bleeding.
watching Twilight.
Our eyes might be bleeding, though, from watching
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
So
either that or some serious problems mentally.
Yeah, we just
It's
got
just
done...
like leaking out of our ears now.
We got done watching the Twilight movie. Oh boy, what an experience.
You know the worst part about watching that movie?
Yeah, what's that?
We watched it with our wives, and they like it.
And
They enjoyed it.
And they didn't want to say anything. Did you notice? We kept like...
No, they were like awkward.
Yeah, they were like
They
awkward
were like,
about it.
oh, but it's so cute.
Oh, the way that Kristen Stewart just blinks like nonstop.
Which one's that?
The Bella, Kristen Stewart. Like,
Oh,
how
I
she
thought,
just...
I thought you were talking about Edward.
No,
I don't know
dude.
that guy's name.
Robert Pattinson.
Huh.
Like, oh, but anyways, so today we are going to be talking about the movie. We got done, if you have followed this podcast along, you know that we just got done reading the book. So
We
we're
didn't
going
get
to be...
any reviews this last week, did we?
I don't think we did.
Bro. Bros.
Yeah. But we got...
Dudettes.
We did rock with the downloads, though. It's so funny. We either get like a week where we get down like reviews and not as many downloads, or we get a whole lot of downloads and no reviews. It's really weird.
Come on, people. Make up your minds.
Do
Let's
both.
find a happy medium. Yeah.
No, do both.
Let's sabotage a couple downloads and make sure your friends that you're sharing this with actually leave a review. That way everybody wins. Come on. Come on. We haven't had a review in like, what, a month? Come on.
A review?
Yeah.
We had a review last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
7
we
days
did.
ago was not the 11th when Happy Glamour Girl left their review. 2
I don't
weeks
know.
ago, buddy.
We read it last week, though.
Oh, because it was from 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I get it. Still, people, come on. Half a month. Please. Pick up your game.
Pick up your game.
Anyways.
All right. So, we're going to be talking about like similarities and differences between the books and the movie.
And how crappy the movie is.
Yeah, we're just gonna be going just nonstop all about it. So
Hold on. Did Twilight Awards, did it get anything?
no way.
If it got an award, okay, it got MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss, Movie Award for Movie of the Year, Teen Choice Award, Best Breakthrough. Oh my gosh. Best Performance? Kristen Stewart for MTV Best Female Performance.
Really?
Hold on. Her chattering jaw, her quivering lips, and her snail-like texture of her tongue being showed on the camera nonstop was a good performance.
I have to
2009 was a bad year.
I have to agree. So first things first, let's talk about like the cast. I think they did a horrible job in casting, personally. I think that Kristen Stewart, she just was blinking the whole movie. Like, she wouldn't stop, like, her head from shivering or shaking or something. It was so weird. Like, she just kept, like, just...
Had tremors.
Yeah, like, she was having a seizure throughout the whole movie. It was so weird.
Her blinking was out of control, too. It's like you're you know how your screen sometimes tears if there's something moving too fast on it?
Yeah.
Or like camera blur. Same thing. It just looked like her eyes were flickering the whole time.
And then with Robert Pattinson, who played Edward
Wobbit?
Cullen. Yeah,
Robert Pattinson.
Wobbit Cullen. I thought it was... it was a little weird. He wasn't... It wasn't like he was talking to Bella. Like, they weren't having a conversation. I told Eric this earlier. It really seemed like the person was just, like, holding up lines for him. And he was just, like, reading them word for word. Like, he was having a conversation with, like, the board and not with Bella. It was really
the dry erase
weird.
marker, and they had, like, several boards, and he was just there looking over Bella's shoulder the whole time. And he was just so confused. He was like, really? This is what Edward's gonna say?
It was like he didn't want to be there, and he was just, like, just saying his lines. Like, there
Do you
was
think
no...
he had any regrets?
Probably. I probably would regret. I wouldn't regret doing those movies because
Made a ton of money.
money in the bank, you know. Like, so
What's
for
his
instance, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson?
So the budget for the movie, I looked this up. So the budget for the movie was $37 million. The worldwide gross $392 million.
It's pretty good.
They made some change on this movie, which I can't believe that.
And how much did they invest?
Budget was $37 million.
Dang, dude.
They
Made
destroyed
a lot of money.
I can't
And then
even.
what did
believe it.
Avatar make? They made like $1 billion or $2 billion.
No,
or something?
Avatar was like billions, dude.
Okay, so if you compare it to an actual good movie, it's still nothing. But at the same time, compared to like a Jason Statham movie, he probably makes like what? Maybe 60 million on average per movie that he does. And his movies are way better than this garbage.
IMDb gave it a 5.2 out of 10.
Attaboy. At least it's honest.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 49, which I think is pretty generous for Rotten Tomatoes. The audience score was 72. So you just got like these like hardcore Twilight fans that are like, bump up the score 72. Like they just like went crazy with it.
They're the only ones into it, making it look good.
I'm gonna rate this movie right now on IMDb. I'm gonna give it a 3, and I think that's kind of generous, to be honest.
Rate this 2.
But so let's go with some similarities between the movie and the book.
They were both extremely awkward to watch and pay attention to.
Yeah, it was really awkward with the book and the movie. Their whole relationship thing.
There's no depth to their relationship, so it makes no sense why they're actually into each other. Besides the fact that he can't resist her, and that she's just so curious. That's all it is. And then they fall in love because of that.
The book,
she falls in love with a guy. She has no idea what he's about. You know.
Yeah, the book did a better job at like their romance, I think. I think the book did a better job at like
their petty romance.
Yeah, but it built it up better. In the movie, it was so like I feel like they barely even talked. Like they barely even like I don't understand it. And then all of a sudden, like at the baseball game, like Edward was just like, it was like they're like, all right, like you're part of the family now. Like we're gonna protect you. Like I won't let you go or whatever. Like forever or type something like that. He said it was like what. Like
completely uncalled for.
Like you guys haven't even like
you barely even hugged.
Yeah, you barely have done any. Like it was so weird. Like it was, I don't know. Like to say that you have to be like dating someone for a long time. I feel like you can't just like be boyfriend and girlfriend for one day and then it's like I'm never gonna let you go like forever. Like this is it.
You could just say they're rushing their relationship.
It felt really rushed in the movie. The book, I think, did a better job at that.
But it was still way too passionate in the book, too. Like, it was just misguided passion on Bella's side. Because Edward was just, like, being weird and, like, trying to vomit. Or not, not trying to vomit, but, like, he would seem like he'd be super repulsed by her, and then he wouldn't be, and that made her curious and mad at him. But it was still just, like, there's nothing here. Like, you have nothing, he hasn't made a funny joke and made you laugh kind of a thing. You haven't developed anything.
Can we talk about that scene, though, in the movie where she walks into the classroom with the fan on and
right,
and his face? Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, talk about overreacting, man.
In the movie, while we were watching it, you recorded it. I think you right? You recorded us
The whole
watching the
thing.
movie, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure we just started just cracking up so hard at that part when Edward's
Yeah.
like sitting there. It looks like he's about to vomit. It was like the funniest thing ever. Like,
Oh my gosh.
in the
He
book,
like sat up in his bar stool on like his desk or whatever and covered his mouth, and it looked like his stomach was about to lurch out of his face. I'll give him that. Like, he did have some kind of good reaction for an actor. It just felt so wrong. It was like, no, that's not what he's going through.
in the book, it was more like he was in pain. In the movie, it was more like he was sick. Like, it was like, what? You know what I mean?
She
Like,
was repulsive or something.
yeah, it was. I don't think it. Okay, this might sound bad. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this yet, but I think it would have been better if she would have been done a little bit more narration over the top of the movie. So like at the very beginning, how like she's narrating what's going on, with the deer while the deer's like running through the forest, whatever. And then like, because in the book it's all about her perspective. It's all about like her diary and stuff. I think they could have like used that more in the movie. So like, because I feel like if you just watch the movie, it wasn't, some things and some scenes weren't very clearly done. Like you didn't like understand like why she stormed off right there. But like if you would have had her like say something as she was walking away or something, I don't know. I felt like it could have done a better job at kind of explaining more what was going on in her head in the movie. The book, it was like over the top, but I feel like the movie could have used a little bit more. But I don't know.
But at the same time, I'm so happy it didn't. You know why? Because it ended the movie quicker.
Yeah.
The movie wasn't that long, which made it way more bearable. What was the funny thing about watching the movie? One of the actual funny things, like after watching it, just examining it, it looked like even the people that were producing it and directing it, they all knew that they had very little to go on to actually make a good movie. So they were cutting and editing and changing a couple of things, making sure everything, would actually fit a good script and a screenplay. Otherwise, it would stand no chance if they followed the book word for word, verbatim. It would have been bad.
They should have upped the budget more to something like, what did I say, 37 million? They should have upped it up to like 60 million and really worked on some of those effects that were in the movie. Like the part where
sparkly skin, fast running,
the sparkly skin,
jumping.
Okay, the sparkly skin looked awful.
This is what I am. Overexposed.
Like diamonds.
Dude, special effects are unreal. 2008, maybe.
You're beautiful.
What? You're beautiful.
Beautiful.
No.
This is the skin of a killer, though.
Skin of a killer.
And like
We gotta name it something else. Let's name it something first before we go on.
I don't know.
You don't know. Come on, man. We gotta get something.
Ugly. I don't.
No,
but,
she said you're beautiful.
yeah, she says it's beautiful or you're beautiful in the movie, and I'm sitting there like, no, it's not. It does not look good. So they could have done better with that. The whole thing where he just like grabs her and puts her on his back, and they start running
Little
through
monkey
the forest.
scene.
Yeah, a little spider monkey thing. I thought that.
Like in the sunlight.
What the? Look at his feet. That's it. That's exactly how I remember it. You just threw him on a zip line, and they made him do this while they were going down.
You would know what
I thought that was really dumb because like you should just be like carrying her in your arms, like in front, like how like all like the romantic, how you like you catch like you catch them in your arms type of thing, like hold her like that. Like that's so
Right.
much better than have her on your back. That's so weird looking.
What would have been
doesn't
better if
look
he like
right.
grabbed her by the hair and just started running, and then she was just flying right behind?
That might have been better than what they did. I don't know.
Would have been more believable.
And the whole part where, so similarities, I felt like it was like pretty, like, I don't know. It's more easier to talk about the differences. I feel like. So one of the big more easier. Yeah. My grammar is amazing. The part that I didn't like difference wise, maybe we should do it this way. Maybe we should do like differences that we liked and differences that we didn't like. So like one of the differences that I didn't like was, so when Bella goes to the Colin's house and they're in his bedroom and Bella's like, I'm not afraid of you or something like that, and then Edward like grabs her and he's like, are you sure of that, or something like that, and then they jump out of the house and he starts running and like climbing trees and stuff. I thought that was so stupid. In the book, how he like basically like pounces on her and like snarls and like gets in her face like he's going to attack her, I think is way more effective. Like I thought that was I think that was way better, because him climbing up the tree and then like being up in the tree with her and like looking at the view and stuff, it's not like trying to scare her. Like that's trying to be like show offy and like romantic and like, here's the view, like how cool is this? Like him like actually like pouncing and attacking her, I think does a just a way better job at like showing Bella like what he's capable of, like, you know what I mean, like facing danger like face to face. I don't know, that's what I think anyways.
You know what I think? I think it's just a terrible, terrible way to have a relationship start.
That's
you start jumping on your girlfriend. What's going on with you, man? This is not how you did it back in the 1800s. Why are you doing it in 2008 and 9?
Another difference that I didn't care for, the scene where so Bella's in her room on the phone talking to her mom, and then all of a sudden Edward comes out of nowhere, and then she like hangs up on her mom, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I like the book how they Bella had to like sneak around Charlie. I think the book did a better job at like with Charlie, using Charlie more, and like the part where she has to like goes to the bathroom, you know, and like changes in her clothes and like sneaking around Charlie, like, all right Charlie, like I'm going to bed, you know, and like trying to, I don't know, I thought that was better. Like, I don't know, in the movie it was kind of weird that like they're in the house and he like jumps back and like hits the wall, and like Charlie doesn't come up the stairs or anything, like, hey, what was that? Like he's not concerned, right? I don't know, it was so weird.
That's right. And they didn't even go to Seattle together.
No, they went to... Shoot.
Yeah, what happened?
No, they went with the girls. She went with the girls.
So they went to Port Angeles.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was first. Okay, yeah, and then later, she's like, no, I can't go to the girls' dance, because that never happened either. Like the girls' choice dance. That never happened.
But they don't end up going to Seattle, right? Don't they just like go on don't they go on that hike? The day of the girl dance? Don't they go on that hike, and that's when he shows her like his skin and stuff, right?
Was it a hike though? Why did they go out in the forest in the movie? I forgot.
He went to the meadow.
Oh no! They were at the school, and then she walks out, and she's like, "We need to talk" or whatever, and then he follows her.
That's what happened in the movie.
Yeah. So yeah, they never ever. Yeah, they never left for Seattle once.
No, so the difference between...
that scene never happened.
Yeah, the difference between the movie and the book was there was 2 dances in the book. They had that one where the girls asked the guy.
Sadie Hawkins.
Yeah, the Sadies, and then they had prom. So there was 2 separate dances. So that was what... I didn't understand the timeline of that movie at all. So prom is like... Prom is in like April, May or something like that. And the guy goes up to her and talks about prom, and it's like December or January. Or something, like November. Like, it made no sense because there was, like, ice and all this stuff, and they're already, like, talking about prom, and it's, like, months and months away. Like, it made no sense.
I guess they're in Forks. They have really crazy weather. Plus, this is a fantasy world, so we don't know how the weather works in fantasy Twilight Land. Yeah. But here's another thing that was fun that we need to examine is just the other extra characters, like Eric, Mike, Jessica.
Yeah.
Tyler, dude. Tyler. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
So Eric in the movie is an Asian Oriental from somewhere. He's got, he's different. He's not the way they depict him in the book, at least from what I understood. I thought Eric was like a scrawny little white nerd guy.
Yeah,
That's what I understood, at least. But Eric was way better in the movie. He was hilarious. He was just like nonstop in her face, and he'd call her baby and like kiss her on the cheek and stuff. Like,
That was
what the heck's
Tyler.
going on, man? It was like the complete opposite of the book, because in the book he was just like a total geek and could barely even talk to her, from what I understood.
Eric was barely in the book, and he was like, I think he was a bigger part than Mike was in the movie. Like, I think Eric was
was
weird.
way bigger.
Like, Mike was a lot bigger in the book.
Mike had like 2 or 3 scenes in the movie, and Eric had like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then Tyler gets thrown under the bus in the movie because they make him a black guy.
Yeah.
It's like the black guy always dies first in every movie, and then the black guy almost runs over Bella.
And like the cops like, we're gonna have a conversation later while they're,
Yeah,
when they're in
it
the hospital.
had to be you. Problem child.
Yeah.
Talk about racism. I thought that was hilarious.
A good difference. Let's talk about a good difference that was in the movie. They actually had the freaking fight scene with James in the
they had
freaking
to.
movie.
Everybody knew at the table when they were like going over the screenplay, like, okay, fight scene or no fight scene, and it was unanimous. Everyone's like, it would, like, the movie wouldn't work without the fight.
Could you
scene.
imagine watching that movie and like Bella just
She
like
passes
hits her
out.
head, passes out, and then she's in the hospital? How lame that would be. Yeah, because that's what happened in the book. That's why the book is lame. There was no action in the book. In the movie, they had to like make up things. Like, for instance, they introduced James and Victoria, and I think they pronounced it in the movie like Lauren or Loran or something like that. And they introduced them in the movie like way early, which is what I said about what they needed to do in the book. And so they show him like killing someone, some like I don't know, he had like a hard hat on. I don't know where he was, like a power plant or something like that. And then
like something water treatment.
They show them again, like killing someone they know that they met at like a little diner thing, like getting closer to them and stuff. Like they actually did something with James and stuff. In the book, it was like Alice was like, "Oh, there's other vampires." But
they didn't even mention him one time. She didn't even see him coming.
And then it was like, whatever. Like, somewhat towards the beginning, she said something about how there's other vampires, but then they just like dropped it like super quick. And then it was like at the baseball scene, it was like, oh, they heard us playing baseball. They're coming. Like, at least in the movie, they actually like introduce them, and like there's more like plot going on. Like, okay, like what's gonna happen with these people? In the book, it was so stupid how they did it. It was like 20 chapters in, and then all of a sudden like the plot happens. So I thought that was a really good difference. I think that they actually were trying to push a plot in the movie, which there was no plot in the book.
Yeah, it was just complete garbage in the book. They like had barely any value at all. And then just in the end, it was like, oh, guess what? Here's the actual plot. And it was like, what, 4 or 5 chapters, and then it was all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they tried to develop those characters a little bit longer. Because it would have been, how awkward would it have been if they just like rolled up at the very end of, like the 3/4 of the movie through, and all of a sudden like, oh, here's some strange vampires. Oh, guess what? Now they're the main problem.
Yeah.
This is what it's all been leading up to, and nobody knew about it. It couldn't have worked out like that in any way. Movies are they're just built so much different than books.
Yeah, they are. Did you like James? Did you like who they casted? Like, did it feel like a James to you? Like in the book?
He reminded me of that one guy from X-Men, that like the Animal or Beast, whatever his name is. I think it's Animal.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, Beast. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he reminded me just like that guy, just like some strong, beastly guy. But he seemed too small for what I was imagining too.
Oh,
I felt like they needed someone bigger, like way, like just taller in stature. Because I wouldn't feel like a hunter would be that scrawny,
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't scrawny. He was ripped. He was jacked, but he wasn't like, I don't know, Hemsworth jacked, or Dwayne Johnson jacked.
Yeah, that part where Remember so that part where like Edward and him are fighting, and Edward's like got him by like the throat, you know, and like
and then he like makes out with him.
oh okay, well it looked like there was something was gonna go down, that's for sure.
They were just like lips to lips, and they're just like,
yeah.
And then Edward goes in for the neck.
Yeah, he like what does he do? Like he like bit off his ear or something. Like did a Mike Tyson?
Bit off his neck. Yeah,
His neck.
Yeah. I scream out, Mike Tyson! Just spits out a massive chunk of meat.
I thought that scene was so weird because he has him by the throat, you know, with his hands, but like James isn't even fighting back. It seemed like all he was doing was like
He gave up.
like snarling at him, and like that was it. And then like Carlisle and them show up, and Carlisle's like
Remember who you are.
Remember who you are. Like stop doing this or whatever, you know, type of thing. And it's like what? Like you're gonna kill him either way. Like what is it?
Anybody's gonna kill him.
Like as soon as he like they let go, the other vampires like tear him apart. So it's like, oh, so I can't kill him, but like you guys can. Like it was so weird.
It's because he's too close. He'd be doing it for a personal reason. Everybody else is just defending. Or something, I don't know.
And they like
he has a vengeance.
They like grab him, you know, and they're gonna like tear him apart, and he's still like not fighting back. Like it was so weird. Like it was like
it looks like. Imagine this: if the movie was being acted out in high school or in elementary school, it's like that level of acting in that fight scene, where the kid's just like having to give up because he's, you know, they don't know how to train a kid to fight back in an acting scene, so he's just making it really awkward. Like, no, you have my arms. There's no escape for me. Yeah. What am I gonna do? I give up, but I'm not. Yeah, it was super dramatic, but it was poorly executed.
Like if I'm about to die, like if I'm about to get ripped up to shreds, screaming. Yeah, like I'm gonna do some work.
Yeah, so he didn't even try. He just gave up. He got his arm, or what was it, his head snapped or something?
His head got pulled off first, I believe, by Alice. It looked like just pulled.
It did give it a good little snapping sound. Oh yeah, and then like when Bella was starting to get beat up,
yeah,
it was weak. It was very weak. He didn't really monologue. He didn't really like show the camera.
They needed
to. They definitely weren't like trying to ham it up for Edward to make like to do vengeance, and they didn't try to do any of that. That would have been way better.
They needed
that would have built that suspense up.
He needed to throw her against the wall mirrors, you know, like have like a nice shatter to it, like because he. At one point, he like grabs Edward by the leg and like throws them down, and she gets glass, you know, like stuck in her in her thigh. But he needed to like throw him against like the wall mirror. I think that would have been a cool effect. But,
well, that reminds me, we got our answer finally. Vampires don't have fangs.
Yeah, in the movie there was no fangs. James bites Bella's wrist, and it's like
massive bite mark.
It's just teeth. Like it's just like there's no like two punctures,
no puncture wounds. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just this massive dentures. Just
the thing also, I think a difference that was good about the movie at the very end. So in the book, all you hear about Victoria is that she like goes away or something. Like they lost track of her or something. Like she left. I don't know, something to that extent. In the movie, so when they're at the prom. Edward and Bella, and they're like dancing, whatever, outside and all that stuff. It like screams out, you know, like it kind of like zooms out, and Victoria's at a window just looking at him at the prom, you know, and she's like, it shows upset. Like upset, like it shows like what's gonna happen like in the next movie. Basically, is she's gonna get her revenge, and I really like that because in the book it was just like, like Victoria, like I don't know, whatever, like. She could be like right outside, and
just
they don't even
it off,
and they don't even care. Like that's what it made it sound like. It was like, like Victoria, whatever, you know.
Right.
So
completely useless character development at the same time.
Yeah, I think.
But is the next book even about that? I have the book right here next to me, New Moon.
New Moon.
I don't know if I want to open it yet. I don't want to. Maybe I do. I just want to see what the book's about.
That's what we're going to be reading next week. So
we were both in mortal danger. That doesn't say anything. Apparently they're in danger again, though.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that, like, differences I liked or, you know, whatever. Like, I think overall, if we're going to rate the movie against the book, not like a movie in general, just like the movie versus the book itself. I think it's kind of tied for me. I think they're equally. I think that the movie did a better job at introducing like the contention. Like they're introducing James and Victoria earlier on. I like how there was actually like a conflict at the end. Like there was actually them fighting, versus the book. How it was just like you get no closure with James at all. Like it's just she wakes up in the hospital and they're like, oh, we took care of him. Like it's super lame. But what the book did a better job at was, I think character development, and it didn't feel. I think it was too long, like the book, you know. But the movie, for some reason, it felt like rushed. Like a lot of the character development in the movie, I don't think. Like
Right.
I really think that Edward and Bella, like there was no chemistry between them. It seriously seemed like they filmed it all just in one day, and they were like, "Hi, like my name's Rob Pattinson. I'm Kristen Stewart." And then like let's film every scene in this movie in one day. Like they had no chemistry. Like it didn't seem like they actually like there was like it was just terrible romance in my opinion.
Petty romance.
That scene where like Bella is like going crazy, like starts like making out with Edward, and Edward just doesn't want it. It was so weird. Like Bella was like all over him, like goes on his lap and stuff, and is like, "Let's make out," and Edward's like, like I don't know. It just felt. It didn't feel like there was actually like a romance there. It felt rushed to me. So that's why I kind of have to give it a tie, because I think the movie did a better job with like James and Victoria in that sense, but I think the book did better with Edward and Bella. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like when you rate the movie, you have to like divide it up before you can give it an overall rating. Like you have to, I don't know what it would be, but like storytelling, like how well they did telling the story, and then how well they mix the characters, like how well one character blended with the other character. For example, like Charlie and Bella, and then the relationship from that going from Edward to Bella, and how Edward and Charlie would have the relationship because they're both connected to Bella. I feel like movies have to do a really good part at explaining like why this person's actually here in the movie, because a book can take as long as it wants, you know, but a movie, it's got a certain amount of time that'll hold your attention, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're there sitting for 4 hours watching a movie, that's just unreal. No one's going to do that. So it does have to rush things, but it has to be, you know, it has to have something a little like magic to it, so that people hold it holds people's attention, but at the same time it keeps going, you know, it doesn't slow down. So anyways, yeah, like character development, I would say that it's definitely better than the book, but still at the same time, we didn't really get to experience much of Chuck. We didn't get to experience any of Bella's friends really much. Like you got to experience her girlfriends in a couple scenes, but that was it.
Yeah.
And they were pretty weak scenes too. And none of those extra characters besides like Edward's family like got to participate in the end of the movie and like have an actual influence on Bella and the ending result of the story. Everybody else at school was just like losers, basically.
Well,
they had nothing to do with Bella anymore.
it seemed like in the movie,
It just abandoned them.
in the movie, it seemed like Bella didn't even like care at all for them. Like they weren't even friends. Like it was just like
Totally true.
Like it just seemed like I'm just gonna sit with you people at lunch. Like she didn't even like them. Like it was so weird. Like
she barely gave him any moral. She barely gave him any time, like out of her personal schedule.
like at the
Yeah, she went with them to the beach. That
But-
was it.
but-
Oh yeah, and then Jacob.
yeah Jacob.
Jacob
We haven't talked about
basically
Jacob at
appeared.
all.
Yeah, well, he appeared because he was barely important at all too. Because he appeared just as much as he did in the book, more or less, from what I remember. He didn't really appear any. Yeah, I don't think he appeared any more than he did in the book.
That's true. Yeah. The
So everything that he did was basically just as important as the book for his development and his relationship with Bella,
his
which
hair
was pretty much stupid.
his hair's awful.
Why is his hair awful?
It's just like I
Just
know
'cause
like
it's long?
I know like that's how it's supposed to be, you know, long and all that stuff, but it looks bad. Their conversation
It wasn't natural.
their conversation when they're walking down the beach, you know, and Jacob's explaining like the wolf stuff, you know, like she did such a bad job during that part. Like,
Oh
she
yeah,
was-
like
she-
acting, trying to get the info out of him.
Yeah, like she was like doing the whole blinky thing and like get really close to his face, and like it just was really awkward. I don't know. I think I'm interested to see if the director stays the same throughout all the movies, because I think
Probably not, man.
I don't think
Probably
she.
not.
I really don't think she did a good job.
If I saw them, like, I think I remember reading one thing from those awards. It was like best young director or something like that, and that would make sense because it seemed like everybody in that movie had very little experience with movies.
I see Twilight on her director. I see Twilight 2008, and I don't see another Twilight. So I think that's the only one she did. So maybe the
She
movies
retired
get
after
maybe
that one.
Maybe the movies will get better, because that was
It's all her fault. It's all the director's fault. That sure would make sense, because there were a lot of things that were wrong with that movie, like just the special effects in general. Holy cow!
that was bad. So
Any special effect, like any like fight scene, jumping, running, especially the running.
the
The
running was
terrible.
bad.
And then like the way they did Edward's skin. Basically, what happens if you have a camera and there's like too much light reflecting off a bright surface? It's called overexposure.
Yep.
They just capitalized that. Like they just overexposed a pale face with a really bright light, and then gave it some sprinkles like in the software for After Effects. Pretty basic, and it was disgusting. Like it didn't portray a vampire being upset with his skin. It was just like, this is the skin of a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, big deal, dude. Who cares? Your skin looks fine to me.
I can't believe that he's supposed to be like the next Batman.
Oh yeah, when I googled it right now, it just showed him right there as Batman. I was like, oh damn.
I can't believe that, dude. I don't get it.
He must be bulking out right now or something.
He has to play
I don't know.
Batman.
How do you beat Christian Bale as Batman? That was just next level.
If Christopher Nolan's doing the movies, there's a chance for it to be a good movie. But if he's not, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna
Nah.
be a good movie.
I highly doubt it. And then this Joker, at the same time, we're just going off on a tangent right now.
Joaquin
I don't know.
Phoenix.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't know. Anyway.
Anyways, Twilight. So what do we give the movie versus the book, I guess? So the book, we gave it an average score. I think we said 3.35, because I think
Yeah,
I gave it a
pretty
3.8 and you gave it a 3 or something like that. I mean, averaged, I don't remember. It was something like that. But
Right.
so for the
Something
movie,
weird.
I would probably give it, I don't know.
3.35. No, what was it? 3.51. There we go.
I'll give it like a 3.5.
It's garbage, dude. The only reason it would be better than the book is just because it was shorter. We did it in one day. That's the only reason, because it was more bearable. That's about it. There's no reason, because the story is exactly the same. It's still a garbage interpretation
Yeah.
of what romance is supposed to be.
The story
It's
is
a
the same.
it's a garbage fantasy. Like, come on. I could dream up of a way better romance between a vampire and a human, I think. But it's just like, I'm not gonna do it because I don't care that much about it.
It's
But
hard
it's,
to. I think we said this earlier. It's hard to make a good movie out of something bad. Like, it's hard to make something better. You know that
you'd have to change so much stuff.
you have to change it to make it good, and then a lot of people would be mad because it's not
It
the
doesn't
same as
follow
the
the
book.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Look at Harry Potter.
dude, I got so mad at those movies, man. I know a lot of people
Really?
like those movies, but the books are so much better. So yeah, I'm one of those people that I'm not too happy with that. But
You're one of those guys.
like you said, the movie is very similar to the book. Like if there's tweaks, it's really little things that they did, like introduce James a little bit earlier. Like it's not snowing in the movie, like in the book it's snowing at parts, like, you know what I mean, just little things like that. Like
It wasn't in their budget to have snowman.
I think that one scene, I'm like just remembering things now, like things keep popping in my head. That scene where Charlie, so that scene where Bella is like, Edward, like, I'm through with you. I'm like, we're breaking up, you know, and like walks up the stairs and starts grabbing her stuff, and she's like, I'm out of here. Like, I can't be here anymore. That scene, I think they did a terrible job in the movie with Charlie with that. Like, Charlie was just like,
he wasn't panicking at all.
he wasn't panicking. He wasn't like, oh, you have to stay, Bella, please. Like, please stay. Like, he was like,
expressionless on his face.
He was like, how about you sleep and then you can go in the morning because I don't want you driving at night. Like, he was like totally just fine with the idea, like, oh, like, you can leave, like, whatever, but just go in the morning, you know, like. And then when he did fight, it was super weak. It was like, I know that
he barely even put up a fight at all.
It wasn't really an emotion to it. He was just like, I know things are hard here. I can change though. Like, we can do things together. Like, that's how, like, he said it. And she was like, what? Watch baseball? And he was like, and then she's just like, I can't be here anymore.
He just looked like the stumpiest stump face ever.
And he was just like, I can't be here anymore. Like, or she was like, I can't be here anymore. Like, or else I'm going to end up like Mom, and just walks at the door. And he just like doesn't do anything.
Sits there with his arms folded.
The book,
just letting it sink in. But it wasn't showing on his face at all.
Yeah, there was no emotion on his face, like he was sad or anything like that. Like, the book definitely did a better job with that.
His mustache is too big.
Yeah, he's trying to be a wannabe Tom Selleck. Not working out.
Wannabes.
We need
Always
to
get hired
give
for crappy movies.
We need to give. So one thing that we need to do is first, because we didn't do it last week, we need to do what team we are on for the book. Like, for the entire book, like,
Gosh.
What team are we on? I think I already have an answer for this. I think, okay, you're gonna probably, I don't think you're gonna like this, but
I don't like anything about this book, so even if you pick a team, I'm mad at you.
for me, it's between two people. I'm talking about the book, not the movie. For the book, it has to be either Alice or Bella, and I'll tell you why. You can't give it to Charlie. He was barely in the book. He didn't really do that many like cool things. He just sat in his chair and like Bella made him dinner. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really do much. You can't give it to Jacob because Jacob was barely in the book. Mike and Eric, like, they're just whatever, it doesn't matter. James, like, they introduce him in like the 20th chapter. Like, you can't really give it to him. Edward, I can't give it to Edward in the book. Like, the whole like, I want you to live a human life, and how he doesn't change her into a vampire. He just doesn't let the change happen. Well, there's a train. I can hear that.
Choo choo. It's like close to you. How can you not hear it over there?
I don't hear it. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
But like,
Choo-choo.
I can't give it to Edward because of that. I think that train, dude. Oh yeah, I can just like, it's just like in my ears. I can't give it to Edward because of that. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. Like, if you actually love this person, you would want to spend forever with them. It's just a stupid argument. Like, and the reason why I have to give it between Bella or Alice is the only reason why the plot in the book moves forward. If Alice isn't in the book, there's nothing. Like, there's no, like, others. She's the one that can see them coming. She's, like, at the baseball game, and she sees, like, Jasper. I mean, she sees James and Victoria coming early. She's the one that, like, protects Bella, like, going to Phoenix. She's the one that sees the vision of her, like, trying to save her mom and go to the dance studio. Like,
explains how to kill a vampire.
She tells her, how to kill a vampire, all this stuff. Like, I feel
how
like
to become a vampire.
Alice, I feel like, really pushes the plot in the book. Like, I feel like if Alice isn't in the book, then there is nothing. The reason why you kind of have to give it to Bella is because she's, like, the main character, and
It's so sad.
Like, she's the one that wants to change into a vampire, and I think you just gotta let it happen. Just do it. she is a little bit brave in the sense where she tries to go and save her mom. It's kind of stupid, I know, but like, I don't know. I if I have to give it to either person though, I would have to say Alice. I think Alice deserves to be my, I want to be on her team from the book.
You want to be on her team.
I'll be on her team.
Dang, if I had to pick one, I don't know. I'm just trying to remember the quickest reference to a person that like was talked about one time and then just never is mentioned again. I don't think that happens in the book. I would totally pick that one person just for saying, thank you for making this book just as short. But if it's about actual MVPs, you have pretty sound logic. And I don't want to just follow in your footsteps, but you've convinced me, man.
Really?
You've convinced me that Alice contributed the most to the story. Besides, obviously, the protagonist. That's obviously... Yeah, it's too obvious. But anyways...
Movie?
Yeah.
For the movie,
a movie?
yeah, what team are we on for the movie?
There's so many people now because it shows all these people that weren't introduced in the book, like the lunch lady. Oh,
Yeah.
the lunch lady. No, oh my gosh, I forgot about that scene where they're in the cafeteria and she knocks an apple off the salad bar, and it jumps like it falls perfectly onto Edward's foot, and he hits it back up into his hand like he's the king of hacky sack, and then he holds the apple
Like the
the
book
exact
cover?
same way in the
Yeah.
book, and I just looked at that and shook my head and probably had a good reaction to it, like, "Are you kidding me?" Anyways, yeah, MVP for the movie.
That's a toughie.
It's pretty well balanced in the movie. I don't know.
I don't
Carlisle was barely even in the movie, and Esme, they were barely in the movie too.
I don't even think you can give it. I don't even think Bella's in the conversation of MVP.
Yeah,
for
she's just
movie.
constantly confused and dazed and has no idea where she's going
And
what's happening.
and blinking a billion times.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's always confused. She's just not even there. She's
no
half
emotion,
conscious.
dude. Oh my gosh, they did not do well with casting.
Her emotion is biting and scratching her lip up with her teeth and like doing weird tongue movements on her close-ups. Just
Should we just say Alice just cuz?
no, Alice barely participated too.
Yeah, she really didn't do a lot.
And James was barely even in the movie
That scene
because he was only at the end and he was so short.
That scene though, when like they're like, oh, like James is after you, we gotta go, and they like drive to Phoenix. It was so fast. Like they brushed through that so quick. It was like, all right, James is on to us, we gotta go. And then all of a sudden they're in Phoenix. They're at the hotel. Like
And he's already got like he's at her mom's house.
yeah, he's already at the mom's house and calls Bella. Like, it was so fast. Like, it was like, what? We're already at the dance studio? Like, it was so, I don't know.
Yeah, she didn't even have to go to her house first. She just went straight to the dance studio.
They didn't show her, like, calling her mom's house and being like, hey, like, mom, like, when you get this, call me back. Like, they didn't show the fact that they were in the hotel for, like, you know, a couple days. They didn't really show Alice's visions very well in the hotel, how she had, like, multiple of them. It was pretty bad.
Hold on. Oh, dude. So, how long did Edward, Carlisle, all them have when they figured out... Because in the movie, they figured out that the tracker wasn't following them anymore. And then they called.
Yeah, that was not how it was. Like, it
And
was...
then it seemed like an hour or something passed by in the movie. And he
they were
was
already there.
in Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the movie they get on a flight. So does James. They all fly to Phoenix. In the book, they fly to Phoenix, and they're like at the airport, and that's when Bella takes off and like
Makes her escape.
That whole scene, it felt so rushed, and it just didn't feel like they did it well, and like things didn't add up. Like how is Edward at the dance studio already? Like,
I wonder if we missed. Maybe I missed a detail, but it seemed like it just happened immediately. Like they were in, Washington, and then all of a sudden, an hour later, while Bella's life was being annihilated,
no.
Edward shows up. Maybe I missed something, but still, it just seems out of control.
Like Edward shows up first thing. Like, how is Jasper and Alice not there first? How is
Right?
And then how does like everyone show up like 10 minutes later and everyone shows up at the same time? Like how did Ed, like, you know what I mean? It was so weird.
That is weird. Because she escaped when they were like at the checkout or something at the hotel.
Yeah, at the hotel. Yeah.
But like they had plenty of time to figure out that she was missing. And they knew, she explained to him where the dance studio was. Why wouldn't they just go there first?
I
That
don't
is
know.
weird.
It's really weird.
Oh, stupid flaws. There was another flaw in the movie that we caught, wasn't there? Like while we were watching it?
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Ah, okay. Well, probably won't come to our heads. Too bad. We missed it.
And why does Charlie park his car on the grass? Why,
He
has a driveway.
He even did it before he bought the truck for
Exactly. That bugged me so much. He kept parking
still
on
parked
the
on his
stupid
grass. It was all like tore up with his tires and everything too.
Yeah.
Complete garbage. It's not real. Nothing in that movie's real. If girls watch that movie and are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a dreamy Edward. It's the best," they're gonna be even more misguided because that's a terrible relationship that they portrayed in the movie.
I really think
If someone gets passionate about somebody because of those reasons, like, oh, the guy's stalking you. He followed you and then he saved you, but he was still following you. And that's what sparked your curiosity?
Yeah, that was kind of weird how like he went to Port Angeles and he was like, "Yeah, I've been following you." It was like, that's not romantic.
I feel overprotective of you.
Yeah, that was like, that's not
Why?
romantic.
You almost vomited over me the other day. What the heck? Why are you protective of me?
I feel like if people like the movies and stuff, I think it's because they're biased. I really think it's like this hype that
they
they're
like the book.
Like they're like, no, the books were good because every other girl or every other person likes these books. So like I have to like it to protect the movies, you know, like I have to like protect this series, you know what I mean, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so weird.
You know what you got to do? Get your wife to go to the library, check out Twilight, because she said she read it and liked it when she was a kid.
She liked it when she read it earlier. Yeah.
Wait, she read it recently?
No, like probably
Oh.
the books probably came out when we were in high school or middle school,
Right.
late middle school.
Okay, yeah,
high
so
school.
she's got to read it again because she was still, a teen
Yeah.
when she read it. So she's got to read it again with like a mother's perspective and with like actual experience in a relationship now.
Oh, the other difference in the movie was they did it a little bit more modern. They like pushed up the time a little bit more. Like
That's right.
'cause
No
in-
dial up.
In the book, yeah, she has like this computer, but it's got like a dial-up connection or something. In the movie,
She's got a Mac
Yeah,
laptop.
she got a Mac laptop, like with like Wi-Fi and stuff. Like,
With Wi-Fi.
yeah, it was and like they have like cell phones and all this stuff. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Nokia like flip or slide phones.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
feel like they pushed it more to like 2008 when the movie was released. That's what it seemed like to me.
Something modern. Yeah, well, there's no reason for them to keep it older.
Yeah. I don't think we can award anyone MVP. It's really hard. I can't really think of anyone.
They're all so basic. Yeah, every character was just I don't know. They're all gray to me.
Yeah,
They have no color.
There's no-
nobody shines.
That's why I'm saying that there was no character development. The character development in the movie was like not good. They didn't like. There's no one in the movie that you're like, okay, like, all right. And the characters that they have in the movie, like the main ones, I feel like their acting it was not portrayed well at all. It was so awkward.
You know what? Like in a typical story, you always find somebody else that's comedic relief. Just basic things like that. In this movie, they didn't have anything. Like her friends didn't help her at all. There wasn't, like breaks in the movie where everybody got a breather from the actual story and there was like a little side story going on. Or
Yeah.
there was no creative element to it. It was just a stupid romance.
Maybe we should just give it to Eric for his one line when he holds up that worm and he's like, "Look, Bella, it's a worm." And he was like shoving it in her face. Eric was like, Eric was supposed to be
the best part was
comic.
when she slipped.
Oh yeah, she just like slips and Charlie's like, "Whoa."
Careful, it's icy.
She almost like trips on that tree branch too. Like I think they're trying to be like she's clumsy, But like, I think she actually almost tripped, like when they were recording, and they kept it because they're like, oh, she's actually supposed to be clumsy, so let's just keep. this.
Let's not redo that. Let's just keep. That was totally natural. That's about as good as acting as we'll get out of this chick.
Well, you have anything else? I'm having a hard. I don't know.
I mean, what are you gonna say about this movie? There's just nothing there. There's nothing there.
Overall, which one's better in your opinion, the book or the movie?
Oh gosh. Better in what circumstance? Like storytelling, or just like having fun reading it or watching it? What would it be? What's better?
Okay, take time out of the issue.
Neither of them are good.
Take time
They're
out.
both negatives.
Take time out of the equation. Like there, you know what I mean? Like the movie's obviously shorter, so it's like, oh, I can get through this quicker. Like don't like that's not part of the equation. Like if you had to reread the book or watch the movie, which one would you do? And like time cannot be involved in this.
And if I was doing this for what purpose? I'm trying to enjoy one.
Say your wife's gonna divorce you if you don't do it.
Dang. This got real serious. That's probably gonna happen because of this podcast, man. I'm taking up our 12:55 at night.
I know, right? It's
nighttime
late.
Together.
It's late.
Whoops. I'd say the book, just because the book at least gives Edward chances to diss Bella. It shows that they have a little bit more of a relationship, even though it's still a garbage relationship.
See,
otherwise,
the book is better.
What's more, yeah, because it's a little bit more enjoyable. Because I can at least get a couple more kicks out of it, just because the writing, at least, you know, they're trying to write something funny every now and then and try and hold your attention. The movie wasn't trying to hold your attention at all. It was just trying to make a fantasy, imaginative, you know, like the story that you're imagining, put it on the big screen and make money off of it. That's all that movie was.
Yeah.
It was just taking the story that sold so many books, and they were like, oh my gosh, this will be viral if we make a movie for it. It's guaranteed money. We could invest $20 million. Heck, we could invest $30,000. We don't have to get any movie stars at all. Just as long as we follow the book, and at least, you know, Edward's hot, we're going to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
That's all it was. They didn't try at all. So, I guess, yeah. And just not resuming. What's it called? Shortening what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, the book was better.
Just one real quick thing. That scene where they walk into the cafeteria and they're all wearing white. That was so stupid. Who wears all white?
Who wears a white sweater and white pants? When
Jeans and stuff. It looked terrible.
And it's a rainy place. Like, if it's raining outside, guess what? Every time you step on the ground, you're shooting water up the back of your legs.
Yep, exactly.
And if it's muddy water, guess what's happening to your white pants, dude? It's going to look like you got nasty skid marks going up and down your back.
Yeah, I agree.
That's disgusting.
So, what I think, book or movie, I think you're right. I think the book is a little bit better. I think the reasoning is, it's an awkward romance in the book, but like at least you have like that character development between the two. Like the romance is like built up, and like in the movie, it's like there's no connection between them. There's no chemistry. Their acting is just not good. Like in the book, they're awkward with each other, but like at least there's chemistry there. Like at least there's something between them. So
yeah,
the movie, it has more of James and Victoria in it, which I said that was the most disappointing part of the book, but the acting in the movie, like, there was certain parts of it that were just bad enough to, I think, lower it below the book just slightly. So like I think the book is like a 3.7, and then like the movie is like a 3.4. Like it's close, but I think the book slightly edges it. So
yeah.
You have anything else?
I mean, like I said before, what is there to say about such a garbage story in a garbage movie?
Well, that's like officially it. We are done with the first book. Like, we don't have to talk about Twilight anymore.
Your welcome world.
Woo! Next week we are moving on to New Moon. We're pushing on with the series. We just have a quick little thing. Remember to send us in those questions.
Dude, the rose petal kind of looks like a butt. So we could make the rose a butt and make it moon somebody like Bella.
Oh jeez. Yeah, we're gonna change like the thumbnail to the next book, so that way it's like, I don't know. I think it's a good idea to do it that way. But
that's definitely a good way. That way you can find it faster too. You don't have to read every title.
Exactly.
When you're re-listening to our podcast years from now, you're like, that was a good podcast.
Yeah, next week we're starting the second book. We're going to be putting up a bonus episode at some point. You have, I think I said like 2 weeks last week during that episode, so you have one more week to submit questions. We're going to do a bonus episode, but only for those iTunes reviewers. So if you leave an iTunes review, you send a message on Facebook or, I don't know, Twitter or wherever, and you just say, hey, this is my review, here are my questions, and then I will send you the bonus episode when we record it. So,
oh yeah,
something special for the special people out there that have left a review on iTunes. You guys are awesome.
There you go. Here's one for you.
So yeah, that's gonna do it.
It's been done. We're done.
Yeah, this is Twilight Noobs, and
check us out. Go to our Facebook, go to our Patreon, go to Jason's Twitter and his Instagram.
Yep.
All that jazz. I don't know what they are though.
Invite people to the Facebook page. That'd be awesome.
There we go.
Twilight
some
Noobs.
convos.
Yeah.
Let's rant about how garbage this movie is and how people don't deserve to breathe anymore for enjoying it.
We are
How could they?
We are starting fresh for book 2 though. We will like if
come in without any
like we're not gonna
expectations.
We're not gonna be biased towards the second book. Like if the second book is good, like I'll be happy because at least I'm spending my time on something that's good. So
maybe Bella will turn into a vampire this time.
We'll see. We don't know.
I mean, if she's invincible, how could she be in danger?
We're just two guys that are reading the Twilight series for the first time. All right, this has been Twilight Noobs. I'm Jason.
I'm Eric.
We'll see you next week. And how about you take that $20 that your dad promised you and buy Harry Potter and not Twilight?